This is just We the People News. Okay, my previous video, I talked about this guy with the SWAT, Seattle, right? 1, 2, 3. This is the third one within the same realm, different name. Now, this is his court, but let me try to get this a little bit clearer. All right, but what this judge is going to do is what most people consider in the courts as the sovereign citizen people, what the quote unquote attorneys and YouTube deals say, call these people sovereign citizens. He is in fact going through the legal process, and these bar members cannot handle him being pro se and knowing what to do, how to combat it, and to how to rebut everything and challenge everything. And they just can't stand him beating the courts up in knowledge and beating other attorneys in knowledge. But under the same definition everybody calls it, he is not what you call a sovereign citizen. Okay? Not in that text. But anyway, here we go.
Which is now on appeal at the Ninth Circuit, which I can read the case number for if you'd like.
Mr. Beckhoff, have you talked to Mr. Coatsworth, who is your appointed attorney at all?
I don't know who.
So the person standing next to you is Mr. Coatsworth. He's a public defender. He's been appointed. And have you talked to him at all?
No.
Okay. And have you tried?
Sit there and think about it. Okay, he don't want an attorney, but there's an attorney next to him. They keep trying to push the attorneys on him, right? Isn't that what they do with sovereign citizens? But he's going through the actual legal process and understand what the attorneys are doing and doing the exact same process and still treating him as if he was one of the sovereign citizens, but he's pro se.
They give him a chance to be able to explain to you what's going on and how he can possibly help you?
Well, I explained to him that I have explicitly in writing, repeatedly with phone calls, emails, and text messages, told the Department of Public Defense that they cannot file notice of appearance to try to represent me. That they're violating my right to represent myself. And yet this continues to happen. And so I made it clear to Mr. Coatsworth, that's his last name correctly, that I'm representing myself pro se. And my understanding is that somehow the automated software for the DPD does this. It's not his, he's not directly liable for that. But I've made it clear for days now that I don't want this to keep happening.
Understand, and I think Mr. Coatsworth is probably accurate with that this is sort of an automated process that occurs. It is your right to represent yourself. All right, so Mr. Martin and Mr. Coatsworth, what I am going to do right now is I'm going to order an evaluation under 1077. Given some of the responses of Mr. Bento, I do have a concern about his capacity to proceed. Do either of you want to be heard on the court's sua sponte issue for that?
Not from defense room. No.
Listen there, right? This exact same thing they're doing to what everybody else calls sovereign citizen, even though he's operating in their laws.
From the state, Your Honor, my apologies, I actually didn't put the case on the record. This is State of Washington versus Kurt Allen, bench 24102680-7, Seattle designation, dated March on behalf of the State of Washington. I'll defer to the court.
So, Mr. Benson, what I'm doing is I'm ordering an evaluation. At this time, it is still going to be your right to represent yourself, but I first need to have things evaluated for your mental health to make sure that you understand these procedures.
I object.
A good thing he object, right? But again, this is exactly what they do to sovereign citizens. They're treating him as if he was one of them, what you guys call sovereign citizens. He is beating them up in court. And this is where it's led to believe, and do believe, that the city, Seattle, is retaliating against him because he has several different lawsuits against him and losing. And they just cannot handle him actually beating them in court.
The delay of game, there's nothing wrong with my mental health. So
And that may be accurate, sir. It's just some of your responses have struck me as friendly, quite frankly. And so I used to be sure that I am doing the things that I need to do.
Objection. The simple fact that I say that I have factual evidence of an ongoing conspiracy, like you may think that no conspiracies happen, but obviously criminal conspiracies happen, or you wouldn't have laws such as 18 United States Code, Section 1962, Civil RICO. We wouldn't have criminal conspiracies such as RCW 98.28.
And I'm led to believe we're watching it right here, right now. Just saying.
4, I think it is. So the mere fact that I have alleged in court in other cases that there is a criminal conspiracy, that does not rise to probable cause for you to suggest that there's anything wrong with my mental faculties. And I take offense to that, and I object to any further delay based upon that presumptive and pejorative opinion that you have stated.
I do want to add that part of it is also my reading of the certification of probable cause in this case and the circumstances surrounding the charges that you are facing.
Okay.
It also gives, we're not going to argue about this, sir. I'm telling you that I'm ordering an evaluation. We will have a return date of July 31st. Okay?
Object.
No,
that is for issues.
That's okay.
July 31st, sure.
July 31st for a return date.
I would probably go more along, so I object to that, as well I deny that order.
And so that'll conclude the hearing.
Tuesday.
Thank you. Thanks, Fred.
I had sent to Court Keenan a per se waiver, but that's we're gonna get to it. Actually, if you could print it, we'll just throw it in the packet.
I'm taking it. This way. Yeah, and you look.
A little shorter, lower, lower.
Okay, so. No, do it, yeah. Okay.
So I'm having a hard time making that as well as y'all are. But just in case you guys got some fancy machine to kind of clear that up, I got ahead and played through there. Okay, this is apparently after he may have been escorted out of the courtroom because he was still in jail. He's got a $750,000 bond on him. So he's still sitting in jail. So they did the court thing. And he's going back to jail. Do so with the People News. You decide.